So, cheers. Scriptures. Got the big book out. I missed it on Sunday. I was so tired I didn't feel like doing anything. Long day on Sunday. Had off Saturday, had a chance, but I had a huge migraine. Excuses. Anyway, hi Storm. She's staring at me like, are you going to do something? So if you're following along in the King James Version, cool. But we're doing it out of the scriptures. Finding it very difficult to read some of the things in here because it's very in the Hebrew language. But we're getting through it. I got kicked out of City Fitness again. Yes. I can't believe it either. But I did. I got kicked out again. And it's an unfortunate situation because they kicked me out this time for a fanny pack because I had my fanny pack on. And I wouldn't make it a big deal as if, whatever, no bags on the floor. It's not on the floor. Maybe once in a while I would always put it on the floor. The same person has always seen me with the bag and decided to say something and then tell on me because I still had it when she was like, they might ask you to leave. And then I was asked, or they might ask you to put that away. And then all of a sudden the manager's like, you gotta. She literally went and told on me, you see me every day. What's your problem with me? So, I was profiled. I feel like I was profiled, picked on because they don't like me because they see my channel. They don't like the things I talk about. They don't like my political stance. They don't like, maybe they don't like me reading the Bible. Maybe they just don't like me as a person, whatever. But for whatever reason, they don't want me in their gym. They don't want my $80 a month for the last year and a half. They don't want my $80 a month when COVID and the gym was closed and I paid every single month. That's okay. Cooler heads will prevail. I just decided, look, I'm just going to leave and I'll renew my membership. And the guy goes, or I'll cancel my membership. And the guy goes, oh, do you want to do it now? And I'm like, no, I'll email you. Why would I want to sit there with you for any more time than I want to and cancel a membership and even have a little conversation with you? So what gets me is how come the old people who are jogging on the treadmills with fanny packs on and different people, they're not being said. So today I'm going to go to the gym because I still have my membership due October 29th, and I'm going to do that every day. I'm going to go there, I'm going to put my bag in the locker, and I'm going to act like nothing happened. And I'm going to wear my gun shirts and my MAGA hats every single day in that place. And that's how it's going to be. Anyway, if you're looking for trouble, you're going to find it, William. It's just, I'm going to find a new gym with more like-minded people. I'd like to get a gym to where I can wear my plate carrier and do some heavy lifting with it on and running and stuff like that with somebody who's like-minded who also wants to do that, so I'm not just some random weirdo running around with a plate carrier. So I want to do those things and bring it to the channel, so the next gym I get to, I'm not going to sign up unless they allow me to bring my cameras in. So that's what we got going on, and we are in the Tanak. All right, we are in Genesis, Bereshit, Genesis 2, chapter 2, or I'm not sure how these big numbers are. Does that mean chapter 2, and these are the verses, right? I would assume. So Genesis 2:2. We are. I think that's where we're gonna be, because this is the bigger one. We're not reading out of the small one, but this is where we're gonna stop. In the seventh day. So this is where we left off. I think we left off actually verse 6, right when he was gonna breathe in. But we'll just recap a little bit. So this is good. We're gonna be going into the story of Adam and Eve now, and obviously we are still in Genesis and the creation. And last time we talked about how reminds me of the Big Bang Theory, the way it's worded in here. And somebody brought up in the comments, and it's pretty cool you guys are being active with these. Elohim means multiple, plural, which I didn't know. And that's actually what this symbol is that I couldn't figure out either. So you can read it two ways. Elohim is this symbol here. And so there's that. I think anytime I see these symbols, it says the word that the symbol means right next to it. So it shouldn't be too hard. But at first I'm like, what the heck? And this Bible, this is the scriptures, in case you guys are wanting to follow along in this. The King James one is pretty much the same thing. It's just, not as Hebrewish as far as the language goes. But in the back of this thing is really cool. They have like all these different maps and different markings and stuff they talk about. I don't know if any other Bible does this. I mean, I can promise you the King James one doesn't. It just kind of ends at the book of Revelations. So, boom, and that's it. So I like this one. So we were talking about the creation of the planet Earth and beings and how, for me, people always incorporate the Bible with life on just Earth, but like for me, it's when he was creating everything, space-time, all the galaxies, all the stars, all the moons, all the planets, everything, and all life everywhere. And however that life came to be in existence is what it is now. Our interpretation of it is man. Because we are men and women, man and women, Elohim, plural, everything. God is everywhere. So anyway. Thus the heavens and the earth were completed, and all their array. This is so much easier to read, this one. And the seventh day Elohim completed his work which he had done, and he rested in the seventh day from all his work which he had made. And like I said before, this is where the 7-day work week comes from. So that's been thousands of years, the 6 days, 7 days you rest. And Elohim blessed the seventh day and set it apart, because on it he rested from all his work which Elohim creating had made. Which Elohim in creating had made. These are the births of the heavens and the earth, which they were created in the day that Elohim made earth and the heavens. Now no shrub of the field was yet on the earth, and no plant of the field had yet sprung up, for Elohim had not sent rain on the earth, and there was no man to till the ground. Genesis 6 now we're at. But a mist went up from the earth and watered the entire surface of the ground. And Elohim formed man out of the dust from the ground, and breathed into his nostrils breath of life, and the man became a living being. You can look at it a lot of the ways. That's kind of like evolution, right? It's like the evolution of the human being and man himself. It's just, for me, this is God, or the Most High. This is, he's breathing these, it just seems like somebody who has an extraordinary amount of power, and just, it's crazy how they word this into a way where it's like you can actually visualize this happening. And that's what a good story is. And, to me, this is a little bit more than a story. This is because there's still some science to this too, if you really want to dissect it. But we're not going to get into all that. I'm just saying. All right. And Elohim planted a garden in Eden to the east, and there he put the man whom he had formed. And out of the ground Elohim made every tree grow that is pleasant to the sight and good for food, with the trees of life in the midst of the garden, and the tree of knowledge of good and evil. And a river went out of Eden to water the garden. From there it divided and became 4 heads. The name of the first is Pishon. It is the one surrounding the entire land of Hawahala. Where there is gold, and the gold of that land is good. Bdellium Delium. I'm gonna just silent that B, I think. Delium. Billium is there in Shoham stone. And the name of the second river is Gihon. I'm really bad at these names, I think. I'm sorry if I'm butchering them, but I'm not a Hebrew. Well, technically, I think all of us are, right? Anyway, it is surrounding the entire land of Cush. Well, we know that name, don't we? Cush. Wonder where that came from. And the name of the third river is, oh, this one looks tough. Hidequal? Hidequal. It's kind of where, I don't know. It is the one which goes toward the east of Ashashur. Man, these words are tough. Shall we dissect that same thing in the King James Version and see what exactly that is? Okay. Adam and Eve. It's probably going to be a little bit different, and Adam gave name to the cattle. Alright, here we go. The river went out of Eden to the water of the garden, and from thence it was parted and became into 4 heads. The name of the first head is Pison. That is which compasseth to the whole land of Havilah, where there is gold, and the gold of that land is good. There is bdellium and okay, onyx stone. Okay, and the name of the river is Gihon. It's the same. It's all the same. In the land of Ethiopia. Shall we look in the Catholic Bible now? The English Standard Version. I really just want to see what the difference is of all these things. The seventh day God rest. A river flowed out of Eden to water the garden, and there it divided and became 4 rivers. The name of the first river is the same thing, Pishon, in the land of the gold, onyx stone. The name of the second river is Gihon, and the name of the third river is the Tigris, which flows east in Assyria. So all the names are pretty much the same in all of them. I didn't know that. That's okay. So I'm just an idiot. Great. That's okay. God will guide me to be more smarter in what he's trying to tell me here. Where were we? We're going to keep reading this one. These words are a lot bigger in the King James. The Catholic Bible I have is extremely difficult to read because the words are so small. But I really like this Bible a lot because it's just like, look at the sword. But anyway. Okay, where we were. And Elohim took the man and put him in the Garden of Eden to work it and to guard it. So he was basically the guard. Like God just took him and was like, all right, dude, you're security. Don't let anybody come and mess around here. I really wanted to say the F-bomb right there, but I stopped myself because I'm trying to stop cursing so much. Yeah, so he was security, guard it, work it, tend it, and keep it nice and pretty. That's all he had to do. Pretty fun, right? And Elohim commanded the man, saying, eat of every tree of the garden, but do not eat of the tree of knowledge, of good and evil, for in the day that you eat it, you shall certainly die. And Elohim said, it is not good for the man to be alone. I am going to make a helper for him as his counterpart. And from the ground Elohim formed every beast of the field and every bird of the heavens, and brought them to the man to see what he would call them. And whatever the man called each living being, that was its name. So the man gave names to all livestock, and to the birds of the heavens, and to every beast of the field. I mean, that must have took days. I mean, that must have took years just to do that. You know how many different birds and beasts that we have? It's crazy. But for the man there was no found a helper for him as his counterpart. So nothing was working out as far as a helper. I guess a dog couldn't prune a bush. Makes sense. So Elohim caused a deep sleep to fall on the man, and he slept. And he took one of his ribs. He took a piece of his rib and closed up the flesh in its place. This is where, like, you know how, so, like, men have nipples. We don't even need nipples. Women have nipples because they give milk to babies. And it's the same thing with, like, we're all mature here, like sperm. Like, there's no reason for a woman to produce sperm, but they do, and that's because we have the same type of counterparts. I know, Baba Mama Doggin. Hi! I know. This dog is pure love. This right here is pure love. There's nothing... This is crazy. Alright. And, okay, Elohim called, and he took up one of his ribs and closed up the flesh in its place, and with the rib which Elohim had taken from the man, he made into a woman, and he brought her to the man. And the man said, "This is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. This one is called woman because she was taken out of man." And I guess that's where the is it called the Eucharist, communion, when you make communion? I can't remember. I mean, I went to Catholic school my entire life for 9 years, and the bread is called the Eucharist, I'm pretty sure. Rings a bell. Anyway. And the man said, "This is now bone of my bone." I already said that. "For this cause a man shall leave his father and mother and cleave to his wife, and they shall become one flesh. And they were both naked, and the man and his wife, yet they were not ashamed." Because they didn't know anything other than that. And the story of Adam and Eve always strikes me as, it's like the same thing you still get, right? You get one or the other trying to deceive the other person. You really gotta trust the person you're gonna be with not to guide you in the wrong direction, because you can get influenced by love easily, and somebody you love and you care about, like people who have addiction problems and all that stuff like that. Sometimes you just gotta leave people behind. That's not what this, well, maybe it is saying that. But really what you want to do is take your time and find the right person, because I guess in a way, when he's talking about like the beast to me, and nothing really was working out until he found the right match. And you could take that any which ways, of course, but that's just kind of how I'm thinking about it, I guess. Okay, we'll do 3 and then we're going to end this because I do got to get going. Alright, Genesis 3, and now this is the snake, the serpent, and it's called the Nahash, probably, in this book. Alright, "And the Nahash was more crafty than all the lives of the field which Elohim had made, and he said to the woman, 'Is it true that Elohim said, do not eat of the tree of the garden?' And the woman said to the Nahash, 'We are to eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden, but of the fruit of the tree which is the midst of the garden, Elohim has said, do not eat of it, nor touch it, lest you die.' And the Nahash said to the woman, 'You shall certainly not die.'" He's literally just like lying. Just like, "You won't die, just eat it. It's so good." You ever see like those, if you ever went to Catholic school and in religion class, they'd have like these pictorials, and it's like it's just the most, a snake, just the most deceiving snake with like a golden apple, and I remember the snake would be like this, like have the apple, not with a hand, but like a snake, and then like smile. And it's just like, you can find serpents in everyone. And that's the story also brings you to that. There's evil in everything. There's everything you look at, You got to try to find the evil in it, so you're not to be deceived, especially nowadays. For Elohim knows that in the day you eat of it, your eyes shall be opened, and you shall be like Elohim, knowing good and evil. And the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and it was pleasant to the eyes, and the tree was desirable to make one wise. And she took of its fruit and ate. And she also gave to her husband with her, and he ate. All you had to do, you had one job, man. You had one job. Then the eyes of both of them were open, and they knew that they were naked. So as soon as they... Alright, well, let's finish this. And they sewed fig leaves together and made loin coverings for themselves. So they ate the tree and realized, oh my God, we're different. You can see I have a private... Like, they didn't even know what it was. It just didn't matter. Nothing mattered. They were just there. They were just pure life. And, it's almost like a dog. Like, a dog has no clue if I'm naked or not. You know what I mean? But if Storm ate from the apple, she would know and be like, hey, man, wear a towel. Anyway. And they heard the voice of Elohim walking about in the garden toward the wind of the day, and so they heard him walking around toward, so it's almost like he whisked himself in, like with the wind, And Adam and his wife hid themselves from the presence of Elohim among this guy, God, Elohim, that they know and they see. He's made everything, and they tried to hide from him. Okay. And this just goes to show you cannot hide from God. Anywhere you go, in any part of your life, whether it's like just going to shit or, you're happy, there's not a place on this planet that you can go, happy, sad, suicide, addicts, everything. There's not a place that you can go that you can't find God. There's not one single place you can go. And that's the cool thing about it. And, that's some real talk right there. There isn't anywhere you can go. Alcoholic, name this place you can go and you can't find God. Where he can find you. Alright. And Elohim called upon Adam and said to him, where are you? He knew where he was. He didn't really need to ask, but anyway. And he said, I hear your voice in the garden, and I was afraid because I was naked, so I hid myself. And he said, who made you know that you were naked? Have you eaten of the tree of which I commanded you that you should not eat? And the man said, the woman whom you blamed it right on his girlfriend. She told me. She said it was okay. And the man said, the woman whom you gave to be with me, she gave me of the tree, and I ate. And Elohim said to the woman, what is this you have done? And the woman said, the Nahash deceived me, and I ate. And Elohim said to the Nahash, because you have done this, you are cursed more than all livestock, and more than every beast of the field. On your belly you are to go, and eat dust all the days of your life, your stinking little snaky life. And I put enmity between you and the woman, and between your seed and her seed, and shall crush your head, and you shall crush his heel. And the woman, he said, I greatly increase your sorrow and your conception. Bring forth children in pain. So this is where, I guess women get pain from when they're giving birth. Unless they take a lot of drugs. Anyway, modern science. And your desire is for your husband, and he does rule over you. And your desire is for your husband, and he does rule over you. Interesting. And to the man he said, because you have listened to the voice of your wife, and you have eaten of the tree of which I commanded you, saying, do not eat of it, Cursed is the ground because of you. In toil you are to eat of it all the days of your life. And the ground shall bring forth thorns and thistles for you, and you shall eat the plants of the field. By the sweat of your face you are to eat bread until you return to the ground, for out of it you are taken. For dust you are, and to dust you return. He is not happy with these people that he created in his own image, in our own image, I guess, right? If I'm understanding that correctly. And the man called his wife's name Hawa, because she became the mother of all living. I guess Eve, right? Should we look? I mean, we know it's Eve. And Elohim made coats of skin for the man and his wife and dressed them. And Elohim said, See, the man has become like one of us, to know good and evil. And now, lest he put out his hand and take also of the tree of life and eat and live forever. So Elohim sent him out of the garden of Eden to till the ground from which he was taken, and he drove the man out. And he placed cherubim at the east of the garden of Eden, and a flaming sword which turned every way to guard the way to the tree of life. Kind of want to see what some of that says in this one. The fall of man. Now the serpent was more... So, basically what happened is they screwed up. And that's where we're going to end this here today on this one. How much time did I go? Not bad. We got done. We're going to continue on Genesis 4. And Genesis 4 is going to be about all their children. It's going to be a ton of different names and different years and all that. So there's going to be a lot of... Yeah, because next we're going to go into the story of Cain and Abel. So I just want to see where it says, I will greatly multiply your sorrow. Alright, here we go. And Adam called his wife's name Eve, because she was the mother of all living. Unto Adam also and his wife did the Lord God made coats of skins and clothed them. And the Lord God said, Behold, the man is become as one of us to know good and evil. And now lest he put forth his hand and take also of the tree of life and eat and live forever. Therefore the Lord God sent him forth the garden of Eden to till the ground whereas he was taken. So he drove the man out and placed to the east of the garden Eden cherubims and a flaming sword. So he drove out the man, and he placed at the east of the garden of Eden cherubims and a flaming sword which turned every way to keep the way of the tree of life. Next is Cain and Abel. So I guess this sword is to keep him out. He drove the man out, and he placed in a flaming sword which turned every way to guard the way to the tree of life. To guard the way. Oh, so the sword guards him to only eat from that tree and nothing else? I guess. I don't know. I'm sure you guys can help out in the comments with that one, but interesting little story, the Adam and Eve thing. It's the story of instant deceive and deception, just right out of the gate, you know. And no matter how it ends in our world today, we can restart, and you know, you can take whoever out of the political office, you can take whoever out of any place that you don't like. There's always going to be deception and deceiving instantly with anyone who is in a position of authority and thinks they have power over anyone else. No matter which way we start life over, There's going to be deception. It's just there. It's just human nature. I mean, even animals deceive one another when they hunt. I mean, this is just nature, right? And it's crazy how a book that can be thousands and thousands of years old gets these things right, and then people can try to trash it because, you know, this king stomped on it. You're talking about a king. You know how long ago it's when we had kings? I mean, these stories are so old, and it's just so crazy how they got all this. It's nuts. So Genesis 4 is next, and that is going to be Cain and Abel. And I've tried to read that story on my own a few times, and it's always like so many different names. We might do that one out of the King James because I think the names are going to be easier to read. Or we might even do it out of the Catholic one because just the names are, they're all over the place. And there's so many of them. There's so many numbers because I believe, is after Genesis Numbers? Am I right on that? Numbers, the book of Numbers is exactly what it is. Oh, Exodus is next. But Numbers is probably right after. Yeah. Numbers is obviously exactly what it says. Just numbers everywhere. But I think I ever read the story Exodus ever in my life. So we're cruising right along, already on Genesis 4. And missed it on Sunday, but I'll try to do this every week. Maybe some weeks I may not get to it, but because we got, you know, other content to do too. But I'm still gonna make this a priority to do at least once a week for you guys and for me, you know, to be just learning and trying to follow along and I don't know, do something a little different. A few more minutes and I got to get to the gym and deal with my new friends that I've made there. Why is it so hard to make friends? If you're not into what somebody's into, there were so many different ways to go about the way that they did that. It's just so weird, man. Like, why would you even make that a big deal? It has to be because they see my YouTube channel. I can't think of any other way why all of a sudden it's a big deal that I have a fanny pack. And when I look through their rules, it says you're not allowed to bring weapons in. And, well, for one, they think they know it's in my bag if they see my channel. But, like, for two, at the bottom of it, it says no weapons and you will be dealt with legally or legally prosecuted or whatever it said in their rules. I'm like, it's not illegal to have a gun. It may be against your rules, but that's not a... Anyway, it's just odd to me the way people are treating with all these crazy cockamamie rules that people come up with now. And this was never a thing before COVID. This was never a thing. It's just COVID happened and it just changed everyone. Just people are so different now. And that's everywhere you look. Everywhere you look. You know, even just going to the supermarket. Even like the last girl I was dating, she was so different. There's something about it was just different. People are so up on edge and they don't trust no one, and I don't know, man. Don't know. Gonna have to be the lone wolf, right? I'm just kidding, guys. But that was it. That's it for the day. I'll see you guys in the next one. I guess it doesn't really matter if you like, share, subscribe. I mean, of course it does. I would like you to do that, but these videos are all going to be demonetized because I don't want to have to... Well, I don't know if it matters or not. I don't want to run ads on Bible study videos. I think that's a little cheesy, right? Somebody's coming here to follow along and read the Bible and learn, and they're getting an ad pop up from like Joe Biden or someone. You know what I mean? No, thank you. So I just demonetize them. The way to support the channel, if you want to, is to go on the Patreon and follow me there. It's a small fee a month. There's going to be tons of videos on there about different stuff I want to put on YouTube, prepping stuff, gun stuff, knife stuff, EDC stuff, just general stuff that's more personal. and we're building relationships there. It's not like, you're just giving me money because you like me. It's, you're going to get some content. There's different tiers, but like I said, I'd recommend just do the bottom tier for now, because I don't have it all set up fully yet. But that's the best way to support the channel. I'm not making any money on the ads. It just doesn't exist here for Hard City. I get shadow banned so hard, and it's really hard to get views. Even when my view count is up and I'm in the green checks on everything, it's not a lot of views, and I'm just not getting them. They're just not. I don't know what's going on with YouTube. It's really been tough in the last couple of months to get views and get subscribers. It's just don't know. Trying to look for another way to another platform or something, but yeah, it's really been a struggle, and it's very it's heartbreaking a little bit, because your work is so hard. I work every day, and then I come to make these videos, and then you use the platform, you follow the rules, and they slam you, and they can dictate whether or not you're gonna get seen or not. And I think for me, like, once I pass a certain point, it should have just been, I should be flying by the subscriptions. I put out content every week, twice a week, sometimes twice a day, and just seems to not be going anywhere. So we'll fight through it though, and that's what we're trying to do now. But it is what it is. So anyways, that's how you do that, and I'll see you guys in the next one. I love you all. Peace.